In part 2 of this video tutorial on custom pages, we'll talk about layout settings and design options, and how to make a custom page your homepage. If you'd like to learn about adding content to your custom page, watch part 1 for the introduction to what custom pages can be used for. Aspen uses a 12-column structure of rows and cells. When adding cells, Aspen will adjust their width so that they total 12. So one cell spanning across the entire row is a size 12. Outlined in green, there are 3 cells in a row, which means each one of them is a size 4. You can customize their size in layout settings. To get to Cells Layout Settings, click the Cell Edit button. Here you can specify the cell size or their proportions in relation to other cells in this row. You can also specify how you would like the cells to display, depending on the screen size. For example, this cell is set to 12 to occupy the full width of a row, regardless of screen size. With 3 cells in a row, the column width changes to 4 for the medium and large size. But for anything smaller, each cell will actually span across the entire screen to make it more user-friendly, and that is why the column width here is a 12. If I wanted to preserve the proportions from larger screens, I would modify these values accordingly and, for example, change these sizes to a 4 as well. Within the Cells Layout settings, you can also choose the vertical alignment of the content and horizontal justification of the text. Another option in layout settings is something that you probably have seen around the Help Center or in Aspen administration, and that is Cell Accordion, where headers reveal extra content when clicked. Please note that you must use a title to use Cell Accordion, and also you can turn either individual cells or entire rows into accordions as well. Besides layout options, you can also explore design options here for the cell. Design options help you choose a color scheme for the cell. The color options are based on the primary, secondary, and tertiary background colors from your catalog's theme. Optionally, you can also select the box to invert background and foreground colors. Now, let's have a look at row options. Select the Edit Row button. Row options are similar in that they can be turned into accordions, and their color scheme can be adjusted. Here you will also see the cells in the current row, and you can either edit or delete them and add a new one. Let's have a look at a page where I changed some layout and design settings to have a better idea what it looks like. In the Custom Pages Edit view, you'll be able to see cells of different sizes and sources, for example, a custom form, a quick poll, a YouTube video, or a collection spotlight. If you would like to learn more on what type of content and how to embed in a custom page, please watch part 1 of this video tutorial. You might have already noticed that quite a few of the cells here have been turned into accordions. Since certain modifications made to the layout or design of the cells may not be easily visible or recognizable in the edit view, let's see what the page actually looks like to a visitor. This is what this page looks like on a large screen. Probably the most noticeable modification is the inverted color scheme for the gray rows, which I selected in the design options for each cell. Now let's have a look at the cell accordions. If you look at the titles, you will notice that each one of the 3 cells in the second row has a title in the center, whereas the cell accordions and their autumn activities are aligned to the left, which I adjusted in layout settings under text justification. If I open the first cell accordion, thankfulness check, I will also notice that the other cells have changed their position in relation to this one. This is because I also changed their vertical alignment. So for example, this one is centered and this one aligns to the bottom. Now let's have a look at the difference of what the cells look like depending on the screen size. Here we have 3 cells in one row on a large screen. So knowing that Aspen uses the 12 column structure, it means that each of the cells is a size 4. Now let's have a look what these cells look like on a smaller screen. I will be using my browser's device emulator to check that. So this is what my page would look like on a Samsung Galaxy S8 Plus. Here, instead of having 3 cells in one row, each one of them spans across the entire width of the screen, which means that for a small screen size, the column width for each cell is a 12. We recommend that you always check what your page will look like on different screen sizes for ease of access and improved accessibility. In the last part of this tutorial, I will guide you through making a web builder page your homepage. In Aspen Administration, head over to Primary Configuration and select Host Information. Click Add New. You'll be taken to a short form where you need to fill out a few fields. First, enter your host name. This will be your library's URL without HTTP or HTTPS in front of it. Next, select the applicable library system that will be active for this host. The next setting defines the default location that will be active for this host. Usually, you can leave the default value of -1 and only select a location if you want a specific page to become the main landing page depending on where the user is accessing your Aspen site from. This will also require your IP settings to be configured. The last field is the default path. Here you will enter the URL alias for the page you want to become the new landing page. Please remember to only enter the path of the web builder page. Do not enter the entire web address URL, and remember that all URL aliases in Aspen are case sensitive. Once you save your changes, your web builder page should now display as your home page. We still recommend adding an option for users to access the Browse category page, so you can either manually add a menu link or use layout settings. For more information, please visit our Help Center. Once you start using a web builder page as your homepage, like for example Uinta County Library, please let us know so we can feature you in our Help Center. In case you have any questions about custom pages or anything else that we covered in this video tutorial, please reach out and submit a ticket.